Life, the show all about living to the fullest and leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
And I'm Cam.
This is Leading Life.
Hello, and welcome to another amazing episode of Leading Life. My name is Cam.
And I'm Bren.
And I just want to say thank you guys for obviously tuning in, and we totally appreciate everything. Like, it's unbelievable the amount of support we get for this podcast, and I just want to say thanks. So last week we covered the topic of health, and our health journey, and what it took for us to finally become healthier and live a healthy lifestyle, and the steps it took to get that energy it takes to fully live that life, And so if you guys did miss the last episode, go check that out, because it actually has a lot of, like, we're not nutritionists or fitness experts or whatever, but it's got everything you might need to start off. And I hope you guys check that out. Brennan, just tell me real quick, how was your week?
My week's actually been really good. I'm working on my music more and more. Actually, since the last time we did this podcast, me and you, Cam, just filmed a music video, which will be coming out really soon, edited and directed and everything by Cam. So that's going to be really exciting to see. And other than that, just on the grind, as they say.
On the grind. Yeah, sounds like fun. Okay, so you guys may be noticing, like, who's this guy right beside Brennan sitting there on the webcam? This is JimmyL. I met him on Facebook, and you know what? That's the great thing about Facebook, is you can meet so many people and connect with people that you would not be able to otherwise. And so through these awesome Facebook groups like, positivity, positive affirmations, the Miracle Morning, some entrepreneur groups, whatever it is, I found his videos, Inspired by JimmyL, and you guys should definitely check that out at the end of this episode, Inspired by JimmyL on Facebook. Amazing page, man. He just, every single morning, he'll just make you smile. It's lovely. And so, Jimmy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, man, I'm kind of all over the place, so try to bear with me. But I originally just tried to, well, I'm not going to say I tried, but I actually started out in real estate. And back in 2004, long story short, got over it, got in and out, Well, got serious about it at the end of last year, maybe December, and listened to a podcast of investor groups on Bigger Pockets. Of course, it's supposed to be about real estate, but Hal Elrod was actually one of the guests on for that day, for that episode, and talking completely all about positivity and changing your outlook. And I don't know. It was one of the most inspiring shows I've ever actually heard, which is really, really weird. So after that, I kind of got into this entire positivity journey at the beginning of the year. I took all of his words to heart. Started working out. Next thing I know, I'm on this journey. I'm losing weight. My skin is looking amazing. I don't know, just smiling for no freaking reason at all. And still, of course, with real estate in my background and just something that I've always had a passion for, I was just like, you know what? I want to get out there. I want to film. I want to feel the reality of real estate. And I was like, okay, me starting this, I kind of started out a little selfish with it, to be completely honest with you. So selfishly, Inspired by JimmyL was actually created. I was just like, I want to be into real estate, but I need something or someone that's going to keep me grounded. And I need someone that's going to make sure that I don't deviate from my process and what I'm wanting to accomplish. And I started Inspired by JimmyL, all thanks to Hal Elrod. And hell, the next thing I know, it just started to take off and reaching people all across the world. And it is amazing for me to be able to sit here and say that. Just amazing. But I'm having fun with it.
That is amazing. And you know what? Like, inspiring others inspires you, And yes, that's what me and Brennan have noticed when we're doing all these podcasts. We're doing the Miracle Mornings, Jesus, the morning motivations. We realize that we become inspired by our own words. The person who's really learning is the teacher.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about doing this podcast and doing the short little minute motivations and the morning motivations and the stuff like that is through inspiring others. I feel like I need it more than anybody else, and that's really why I keep reiterating this stuff and why I keep doing these videos, because it's like you said, part of it's a little selfish, like I need to hear this stuff, but at the same time, as I know, while I'm on my journey learning, I can help others, and it becomes our journey, right?
And then, not to mention, when you get started, you can't let people down, and they start to look forward to it, and you start to look forward to it, so you kind of get in this rhythm, and you just keep going.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So today we're talking about the journey of positivity, because me and Cam actually have a similar journey where, we were on a certain path and it wasn't quite working out. And as soon as that path kind of failed, we were ready to take on a new path. And this was our new journey of positivity and all the things, we've learned. And so I feel like we're already kindred spirits here, and we're gonna connect here. So tell us a little bit about, this idea of a journey of positivity.
Okay. Be completely frank, most of my friends are really negative, and not by choice. It's just by life circumstances. They started to be extremely negative, and the older we got, having more children, more problems, more issues, everyone is getting married. Of course, dealing with all these different types of things, it just kind of, it can really, really, really weigh heavy on an individual if you don't have that mindset to look at the positive side or that bright side of it. And thankfully for me, my mom, kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk, my mom probably instilled more confidence in me than I could have ever asked for. I have more confidence than probably me, you, and your 10 closest friends. And so what started to happen to me even before Inspired by JimmyL, but because of that confidence, I should say, being able to walk into a room and that confidence is eluding. It demands attention. So I've learned to kind of channel that and make sure that I keep it on the positive track. It's been a journey, and it's still been a journey. And I hate to say it, but I have no right or wrong answers to actually answer your question. It's been a crazy journey, and I'm just trying to have a ball with it. But it all started from a place of negativity and my friends and family and not wanting to be around that. And so I decided to erase a lot of negative things off my Facebook page. I'm spending less and less time with my friends, and I hate to do it, but it is what it is. And I have to think about me, and I have to think about my future. And that's not what I want. I want to be surrounded by positivity. And honestly, so many doors have opened up. It's amazing doors that I would have never, ever imagined. Because I currently work at a distribution center, and fortunately for me, I'm able to control my entire department, so yay me. But because of that, you get an opportunity to impact people a little differently. And so a lot of different people are starting to come up now and actually, ironically, seeing the videos. And they're just matching that with who I am while I'm within the workplace. And it honestly, it gives me that extra boost to just let me know that I'm obviously on the right track, and I'm not just talking about it during the day or in the morning when I'm shooting a video. It's what I'm doing all day long. And so it's just little simple things like that just kind of keeps me going.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've noticed that is like you said earlier, it was kind of inspired by negativity. That's why you're so positive. I've noticed that because mine and Brennan's past wasn't the perfect childhood. You didn't have the perfect parents, the perfect anything, right? And you kind of see other people who are happy, and you want to be like that, and you realize, okay, I want that. What can I do to get that? And I feel like the people who don't have it are the ones who strive for more, And honestly, positivity is amazing. It's so people, a lot of people look at it like, oh, you're just positive. It doesn't really change anything.
Yeah.
You're just looking at things different. But you know what? I look at it in a completely different light, because there's so many awful things happening on the planet, and you could just focus on all those awful things, the things that you can't control, But then there are so many amazing things that are also happening. And you get to choose whether you get to feel good or bad, because either way it's going to happen. So, are you going to let it bring you down, right? And I'm always that guy, that optimist, right? In the group of friends where somebody's mad about something, and how many people die who just died in the last 10 minutes on the planet. I'm like, man, how many people were just born in the last 10 minutes? You know how many children were adopted, mouths were fed. There's a lot of lovely things happening on the planet. I think we just need to focus on that a little bit more.
You know what? I'm really glad that you brought that up in regards to the upbringing. Just to throw that out there in full disclosure, I'm glad you said that, because that's one side of the world, and fortunately for me, I didn't have a bad childhood, I should say, but I was more so one of those people that, because I didn't have the bad childhood, I wanted to be the rebel. And so I kind of went down that path, but only because of my own choosing. And luckily for me, I was able to get out of it very quickly. And so it maybe have lasted maybe 6 months to a year of me just doing unbelievably stupid things. And luckily for me, I never had a really, really bad childhood that I could dwell on at this moment. But even aside from that, I totally agree with you. Being in your circle of friends, and just you're the ones that Gary calls it a realistic optimist. And they don't understand. It's not about being all happy-go-lucky and just, there's nothing bad happening in the world. It's more so about what's the good. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Absolutely. So with your topic of journey of positivity, where do you start? What if somebody doesn't even know they're negative, or they think they're positive but they're really not, or they're hanging around the wrong crowd, or whatever? Where do you start?
You know what? I actually learned this in real estate, and I'm learning more and more and more out of all the different motivational speakers that I'm listening to, and in any mentor that I've ever had, is that honestly, there's no right or wrong way to actually start. And it's very different. It's for every rule, there's always an exception. And 9 times out of 10, there's multiple exceptions to that rule. So there is no right or wrong way to actually start that journey. And if you are someone that is looking to get out and probably away from that negative place, honestly, it's one step at a time. It's one moment at a time. It's 1 minute at a time. It's 1 hour at a time. Just deciding that this is one moment in my life that I'm not going to complain about whatever is happening to me right now. It's about just making sure that you're taking control of that actual action and your actions, I should say. So it's not one right or wrong way. It's so many different ways that you can look at it, and honestly, you can come from wherever, anywhere in the world, any broad script, I don't even know what I'm trying to say there, but you can come from anywhere, any background, and you can honestly just start it one day at a time. But you have to be motivated. You have to be willing. I know that me personally, I've had a couple of friends that tried for a quick second, and not because of me. It was actually before I started my journey, but they tried for a quick second, and they didn't have the willpower to keep going. They kind of allowed the negative things to just fill their heads again. And when you're determined to do something, there's nothing in hell that's going to stop you. And so even I, to make sure that I'm on the right track throughout the day, I set little reminders on my phone, something so simple. And it's just an alert that'll pop up just to say, hey, be happy about where you are. Or if you're stressed about something right now, that means that obviously you're thinking about the wrong things. There's just various things that pop up throughout the day for me just to kind of stay positive. So, I would definitely encourage someone to do something similar.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, go ahead, Bren.
You really have to break that pattern of negativity, because oftentimes that's all it is, really, right? Yeah. It's just a pattern that we get caught up in. So, and oftentimes those little reminders, it's just a little jolt that'll get you out of it. What I like to do is I read affirmations in the morning, and I have little pop-ups on my phone. Exactly what I'm talking about. I got all sorts of stuff. I'm listening to podcasts and audios and all sorts of stuff just to reprogram my mind, because I feel the negativity in today's society is pretty much the norm. Yeah. Most people have somewhat of a negative attitude. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the state we're in right now as a society. So, just having those little things to break your pattern, I think is perfect. Great idea. You listening to the podcast, go do that. Set some alarms.
Another thing that I've realized is that, whenever you're feeling down, there is a list of things that you can do to lift yourself back up again. A list of things. Like, sure, you could do one thing, like, oh, I enjoy this TV show. I'm just going to sit down and watch it. But honestly, like, do little things, like, stack little awesome things that you enjoy whenever you're feeling down, as an example. So, if you're feeling down, like, curl up in a ball in a Snuggie with a really nice pillow with a warm cup of tea with your favorite show on with like a nice peanut butter jelly sandwich, like anything. Like, just stack the things. Listen to your favorite song while you're watching the same show. You know what I mean? Like, stack all these amazing things and you'll be surprised and smile, obviously, but you'll be surprised what will happen to your mood if you just make initiative, take initiative. Do something, because you can't just sit around and you can't just submit to the negativity. You have to do something about it.
Yeah, I think a great point of what you're saying there was, be self-aware. That's another topic we wanted to touch on today, was like, know yourself. Like, if you know that crawling in a ball in a Snuggie is going to make you happy and it's going to, bring your stress down for a moment so like you could get back on the road and give her, well, then do it, right? But just knowing yourself, and also this goes into negativity. Know where you're being negative and know where you're being positive. Yes. Know where you're being crippled by the obstacles, and know where you're taking advantage of the opportunities.
Exactly. You know what? Back when I was, 16, I got my first car at the age of 16. At the age of 18, I was on 2 cars. At the age of 21, I was signing a mortgage on my first house. Well, I was doing all of those things because everyone said that I couldn't do it. And so, of course, me being me, I'm just like, oh, yeah, if I get this, that's going to make me happy today, And it did for a moment. But after the house, after the 2 cars finally paid off, like, honestly, no stress, no worries whatsoever, I was probably the most unhappiest that I had ever been. And it was only because I was doing all of these things and had no root in them, to say, at that time, I didn't truthfully know what made me happy. Had no earthly idea. And probably for the last, 3 years, a couple of the ladies at work, they've been joking about it. And they're just like, you need to start a talk show. And I'm just like, and talk about what? I was like, about what? I don't know I don't want a talk show. Like, I don't want to interview people. That's not me. And they're just like, but you're so happy. And, you're just so friendly. And I'm just like, I love being me. And being me means being friendly. And I'm just like, that's just who I am. And so once this, of course, 3 years later, all of this starts to kind of come together. And, it's very important that if you are striving for any goal, make sure that you know the center of it and why you're striving for it, and know whether or not it's going to actually make you happy. And in order to do that, you have to be self-aware. It's a journey just to find out, what you want, what you do want, and to become more and more self-aware. I think it's something that you're going to be dealing with and struggling with for the rest of your life. But, it's something that you have to know. You must be centered. You must be grounded, and not think that material things are going to do it for you, because it's not. It's not at all.
Yeah. A big part of self-awareness, I think, is just like studying human behavior. That was a huge game changer for me, was just starting to learn a little bit about human psychology and just the way we work as people. And that's a great tip for self-awareness, because we're all human. If you study humans, you'll not only know yourself better, but you'll know other people better, so you can interact with people. I mean, growing up as a teenager and as an elementary kid, I was terrified of people. Like, people were not my thing. Right, but now it's like, it's more of like, I want to get to know people, I want to understand people, I want to connect with people, right? But it's those simple little shifts, right? That's what I always think about.
But why then, if you don't mind me asking, why were you afraid of people?
I don't know. I was just insecure in myself, probably. Bullies, and I mean, when you're that young, it could be any small thing that makes you just not want to be around people.
This is true.
This is true. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was like totally the opposite. Like, dude, I wanted to, like, I was not a social butterfly per se, but I was most talkative. Like, just whatever it was, dude, I was going to be in it. And it's just, I don't know. Some of that got me in trouble, you know.
No, I hear you.
But, you know, time has changed, and I'm starting to now, you know, use it in my adulthood. And it's been doing well so far. It's been doing pretty good.
Well, you're on the Leading Life podcast, so you must be doing
This is true. This is true. So it's really an honor. I really can't thank you guys enough on that. Seriously. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, this is fun. This is fun. This is what we love to do, you know, get together, talk about subjects that are important, but not too many people want to talk about. Yeah. I find like that's what I deal with my friends on Facebook, you know, is you're talking about your old circle of friends, right? Because you know, you grow up a certain way and you create a certain life. And you know what I always like to remember is the way your life is, all it is right now is an accumulation of everything that's happened in the past.
True.
You know, so your friends, your career, everything that you have now is just an accumulation of everything that's happened in the past.
Definitely.
So if you change some things right now, you could affect the future. And so that's why, you know, you really have to make those small choices. When it comes to positivity, how do you entertain yourself, right? That's an important question to ask.
That is important.
What do you watch on TV?
Yeah, like,
what do you listen to?
That's like one of the biggest reasons we have this company, Implicit Entertainment, is because there's so many just forms of entertainment that don't serve us, you know? I mean, I remember talking to Anthony Chima about this, and he said, you know what, okay, Karen, I watch Game of Thrones once a week, okay? But I can tell you right now, 90% of the time, I am, you know, feeding my mind with positive stuff. So, I agree with that. There is a time and place where you can play some Grand Theft Auto. A time and place where you can watch Game of Thrones. But if this is all you're doing,
now back off of Grand Theft Auto. Okay? Back off.
No, but really, like I've noticed that the more I watch these things or play these games, the more that becomes my attitude. And I remember Brennan had a really good example of this. Like, he was watching Sunny in Philadelphia or something along the lines.
Yeah,
go ahead.
There was this show. It was called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and it was on Netflix. It's a hilarious show. It's just a great show. And I think there was like 10 seasons at the time, and I binge watched every episode of this show and just laughed my ass off every episode. It was just great. But, you know, a week later, after I'm done watching this show, I start to notice the way I'm treating the people around me. I started like kind of making fun of everybody around me and like just picking on people around me as kind of a joke, because that's what they do in the show. Next thing you know, my entire life is just like me ripping on everybody and trying to turn my life into It's Always Sunny.
Shame on you.
And so, go ahead.
I kind of had the similar thing with Grand Theft Auto. Like, I was playing it day in, day out for hours. And I was driving down the road, and I was just like, I just want to know how it feels just one time, just to hit someone. I just want to know one time. I was just like,
yeah, when you have that thought, you just know, like, there is something wrong.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. I mean, needless to say, we still have it, but I don't. And that's the latest one. But I didn't nowhere near am I on it that often. In fact, I played it yesterday, and I hadn't played it since yesterday. I hadn't played it probably maybe 3 months, but I played it yesterday and was on it for every bit of 20 minutes. And my husband was like, "Are you getting off already?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." Like, the thrill was there for like a quick second, like prior to me getting on it, but once I got on it, I was just like, "Okay, yeah, this is."
Oh yeah, you know those shooter video games, right? Like, I used to play a lot of the shooter video games, the Call of Duties and Gears of War and all that crazy, you know, Grand Theft Auto. And so I'd catch myself just like around town, just like looking at people and just like,
oh my god,
I'm just like,
that is awful.
Like, headshot, and I'm just
please don't end on the news. Don't be on the news.
Wait a minute, whoa, you know, I gotta tone it down on these violent video games a little bit. It's getting a little out of hand.
Yeah. And you know what? Same goes for people. You know, if you spend your time with some negative people, you're bound to become one of them. And, you know, that's what David has been spending a lot of time with you, Brennan? And he's said that, you know, he's hanging around positive people a little bit more, and it's helping him big time. So, small things like that, even.
Yeah.
No, it definitely does. And your entertainment is just like what you hang around, the people you hang around, the environment you're at, the places you go, the people you talk to. Every little thing affects you, and I think just being aware, being self-aware of what's affecting you and what level, and how you can make small little changes that will create big shifts in your life down the road.
Another big thing that I've noticed is a lot of people, even me sometimes, I catch myself doing this, is whenever you're in a bad mood or kind of stressed or down on this negative, pattern, you reach for a substance like food or like a coffee or, you know what I mean? And that instantly changes what's going on in your brain, because it's like this warm chocolate cake in my stomach, it's lovely. So I think that's another thing to realize is look at the things that you're reaching towards and ask if they're serving you. Because, people do the same thing with video games and TV. Because, honestly, when you're watching Netflix, you're letting somebody else think for you. You don't really have to do much thinking. You're just looking. And that's what I love about TV and movies. It's like, it takes you over. You're in it, Then that's why I'm a filmmaker. But, like I said, there's a time and place. You can't be binge-watching TV, because I noticed that, sure, I think I'm living a good life, but then I look back and I'm like, you know what? I just got done watching 3 seasons of How I Met Your Mother in one night. There's a problem here.
Oh wow.
There's a what am I? I watched, guys, you'd be surprised the amount of TV I've watched. I've watched Weeds twice. It's got 8 seasons. I watched How I Met Your Mother 4 times.
Are you serious?
Yes. I've seen Breaking Bad 3 times over.
4 times.
I've seen all the Orange Is the New Black. I've watched a ton of SpongeBob when I was a kid, but that's when you're a kid anyways. But this was within the last 2 years, that's when there's a problem. Sure, it's amazing, it's fun to do, but when you're escaping life,
Yes. That's a problem.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you guys have any experience with that.
I do. I love to travel, and that was my thing. I was bored, or if I was irritated, I would have to travel. That was just me. And I actually posted something a couple of days ago. I want to say that was Friday or Saturday, that living a life that you don't have to vacation from. And this past vacation, I went on vacation last week, and oh my goodness, it was the best vacation that I've ever had. It was probably one of the very few, and I probably haven't felt like this since I was a kid, but it was a vacation where I was truthfully enjoying myself. I wasn't in a hurry to get back home. I didn't care if I got back home. I knew that there was no problems there. It was just, okay, I'm here to enjoy myself. I don't have to suck in this little bitty moment because I'm not going to get another one. It wasn't like that. And when we were driving back home, I enjoyed myself driving back home. We made stops along the way, and we got here, and again, there were no problems. And so, not to say realistically that there's no problems, it's just that there was none that could take over my joy. And it was a completely different mindset for me, and I was really glad to have that this past week. It was a whole new thing.
I guess you were kind of just in the moment, I think
I was in the moment, but usually if I'm on vacation, first off, if I was having a bad moment or whatever, I would drive for the weekend, or I don't know, we'll live for a week or whatever. We'll go, and you may have that first couple of days, and you're just like, oh, I'm having so much fun. Well, then the third day goes, and you're just like, oh hell, I'm halfway through. I gotta go back home, and I have to deal with this bill, or I gotta deal with this problem, or you're worried about work, or your tires on your car, or whatever. And that's halfway through the vacation, and at least that's how I used to be. Halfway through the vacation, already looking toward the end, and already looking at the issues I'm gonna have to deal with when I get back. And like I said, this time here, it was just one of the few that I don't think I could ever remember, other than when I was a child and had no worries. But where it didn't matter. It didn't matter because I didn't have any issues to come back home to. I didn't have any. So that was good.
That's amazing. I've had an experience like that, and you're gonna laugh. This was a lot different. I was just swimming in my pool, and I wasn't in another city. I wasn't really traveling, but I was just having a really good time swimming in my pool. So I don't know why that's funny. I'm crying right now, but I actually am. I'm tearing up out of my eyes. But
I need you to turn the camera on. Turn the camera on, quick. Oh my goodness.
No, it's on. The people can see my face. But no, I was just.
Oh my god.
I was having a really good time swimming in my pool, and I realized that I was centered where I was. You know, like I looked at myself and I said, you know what? I'm really, really happy, and I asked why, and I looked back and I was like, you know what? I'm here. Like, that's it. 2 words. I'm here. And that could be so profound, because I can mean my problems are here. You know, my problems aren't in the house. They're not at Brennan's house. They're not in my phone. They're here. You know, I'm here. When I'm here, my thoughts are here. Everything I'm thinking about is here, and I'm not worried about anything else. And, you know, that just gave me such a small, subtle feeling of joy for some reason. Just being there in that place and realizing, like, I'm just here. You know, I'm not even thinking about anything else. Like, I don't know what it was. It was a good swim.
Yeah, you know, that's
really
like, that's awesome. It's a meditative experience, really. You know what I mean?
You know what that is?
Because usually we go to meditation for that feeling. You know, we try to sit there and we try to get that feeling of I'm here, I'm happy, I'm in the moment, right? But sometimes it just happens. Sometimes we just catch ourselves in one of those moments. Like, for me, it happens with music all the time. When I'm playing music, I'm in that state, man, and it's just like, or even sometimes during, like, working out, like boxing sometimes. You're just like, there's no thoughts, there's nothing else, I'm not supposed to be anywhere, I'm just here, and I'm in it, and I'm doing it, and, like, I'm at peace, you know?
Absolutely. It's such a lovely feeling. So, with this topic of positivity, is there, you know, because we got to wrap it up soon, is there any final things, like little steps that people can take, basically, or, you know, something tangible that people can leave with?
Absolutely. I mean, the very first thing that I personally, because everyone is on Facebook. Everyone is on Facebook at this point. Watch your news feed that you are allowing to stroll through Facebook. I mean, Facebook is very, very, very amazing. And it will only give you the information that you want to see. So what you're looking at there, whether it's negative, positive, or even a mixture of both, it's there because it's what you are requesting. So I definitely would start there. And it's already something that you do every day anyway. So starting there to get rid of the negative things, if you want a more fulfilled and more positive life, then, you know, start there. Start to get rid of those negative things. And a great example was, not to be all political, but the whole Black Lives Matter movement that happened, and I'm here in Memphis, and one of the major movements happened here in my hometown. And so all of my friends, all of my family, everyone is just filling my Facebook page with all of this information. Most of it was negative. Most of it was completely uncalled for. And I found myself unfriending people. I found myself honestly just hiding so much. I did not realize how much I didn't realize how many of my people, or how many of my circle that were there that were already negative. It never dawned on me until that day. And it's just, I slowly started, and it went on for days, but I kept deleting, I kept unfriending, I kept unfollowing. And honestly, now, oh my goodness, there's probably so much positive things on my Facebook page. And so when I do get on there, whether I'm at work or at the traffic light that I'm not supposed to be doing, you know, you see these things, and it instantly gets you back on the right track, because you're going to see someone's video, or you're going to see a positive thought, you know, and it may be that inspiration that you need to help you in that exact moment, and just to keep you on the right path. I mean, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much at all, but I would definitely start with Facebook.
That's a great idea. Your Facebook, your Instagram, your Snapchat, whatever it is, you know. Because oftentimes when we're stressed, or when we don't know what to do, or when we're in fear, you know, where do we go? We go to the thing that's most comfortable. Let's go to the phone. I'm very comfortable here. Yeah. We'll open up Facebook and scroll. It's easy. I'm comfortable doing it. And then that information, you're vulnerable in that moment. And so whatever you're constantly reading on your Facebook or on your Instagram or whatever it is, YouTube, Snapchat, social media in general, it's going to affect you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
cool.
So yeah, like, this was fun. I feel like, honestly, we're gonna have you back on the show sometime soon.
Okay, and I would definitely appreciate it.
You already got the invite back. Jeez.
look at that. That's when you know you've done something right. Anyway.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. All
right. All right. So we'll wrap it up real quick. Where can people find you on the social media? How can people follow you?
The biggest thing right now, again, with this positivity journey, I'm always on Facebook, Inspired by JimmyL. Follow me there. I love comments, and more importantly, I really love bringing people along with me on this journey. So even though I'm sharing my story, and also just to throw this out there very quickly, my day-to-day, I don't do anything scripted whatsoever, kind of like this. I don't do anything scripted. Everything is just uncut. I do one take and it's done. It is what it is. But I'm saying that to say that each day is something different. And each day, it's not planned. It's more so of what happened to me that morning or what happened to me the night before. And it's usually something that not only I need to hear for myself, but it's something that usually someone else needs to hear as well. So I'm very interested in just bringing people along with me on this journey. It's amazing so far, and I'm just ready to keep rolling with it. So,
just a quick question. Do you have Snapchat?
I do. I do have Snapchat, and actually I don't use it that often, but you guys can definitely follow me there as well, which is just Fabulous Investments, and I do all kinds of things there, but when I'm on it, so.
Yeah, because like Brennan, as an example, he's on Snapchat like every single day, talking about his morning, talking about his lunch, talking about, how his lunch feels in his stomach. Really? Talking about how his lunch tasted when it was in his mouth, talking about how he cooked it at one temperature, like everything. Like this guy is just...
Hey, important information, Cam.
My goodness.
I've got important people on my Snapchat who keep asking me what I had for breakfast. And I need to make sure these people get what they want.
They requested it.
In fact, let me get a Snap right now.
Yeah, go ahead, do that up.
Let's see this.
This guy.
1 second.
You're supposed to be an expert at this.
I'm in the middle of a podcast right now, and Cam's making
this
fun
guy.
of me for
Every
Snapchat.
business meeting we're in, every lunch I'm at with him, even when we're in the car, like he'll just, like anything. This guy is just all over it. And you know what? I'm not complaining.
Dude.
Some people are getting a lot of value from this because they're seeing this guy's life. This positive dude, and they're, obviously they're seeing, if they like it, they're seeing something that they want. They want that positivity. They want to, be free. Brennan's free. He does mostly what he wants. So yeah, that's just a suggestion for you, Jimmy, is because Snapchat's huge right now, and it's so easy to sit there and record a 10-second video for your fans or whatever.
I could totally honestly. Okay, well, how do you get more followers on there?
I think one of the things you could do is just keep promoting it on your Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it and see what happens.
Google's important.
Google is important. Okay. I'll Google it.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much, guys. You're the audience here for listening, and if you got value from this episode, make sure you share it with somebody, because if you enjoyed it, don't be selfish. Share that stuff, and show your friends, and obviously follow us on the other stuff, because we're doing this every Monday, so you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow Brennan on his Snapchat. And stuff like that.
Bren,
let's keep in touch here, because we don't want this to be the end of our relationship over online here. So obviously review it on iTunes as well, because that really, really helps. It's unbelievable. And thank you, Jimmy, so much for being a part of this.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
And thank you, Brennan, for your Snapchat.
You're welcome.
And thank you, listeners. We'll see you next week.
Peace.